Hello everyone, welcome to Redmen TV. Steve here. It's been a while since I did a video from my kitchen actually, and usually, I'll be honest, when I was doing these things throughout the course of the summer, I quite enjoyed doing them because it was often transfer related. You know, I sat here talking about Alexander Isak, I sat here talking about Hugo Ekitike, Florian Wirtz, Milos Kerkez. The world was good, everything was going fine. Fast forward was just a few months and this video is being recorded so late because we were waiting for the press conferences over in Milan ahead, of course, of Liverpool's Champions League game against Inter Milan. But the game was almost secondary as Arne Slot and Alisson spoke to the press, because obviously the major talking points around Mohamed Salah and his comments and his future and the reaction of both the manager and Liverpool, maybe the hierarchy potentially, and then Alisson reacting on behalf perhaps of his teammates as well. So usually at Redmen, I'm sure those who follow us semi-regularly will know we do match build-ups for every single Liverpool game. This is going to be one of the few games where there isn't one. And the reason for that is because we felt we couldn't really do one without having a clear picture on Salah's situation at the time, the squad, etc, etc. So we were waiting for the press conference. Obviously, by the time you do that, I'm just looking out, you know, it's 7:30, 7:45, whatever, and Paul is travelling to Milan to go to the game. It was a bit of a thing. So I thought this is the best way to do something. And just give, this is my reaction, of course, to the press conference and the comments made more so. So obviously it starts with Arne Slot then, and no surprise that Vinny O'Connor from Sky, his first question is of course about Mohamed Salah. It was always going to be about Mohamed Salah. Obviously the most standout things really with Arne Slot. The first one, obviously he said, we let him know he's not travelling with us. That's been the only communication between us and him. Obviously that was today, after Salah's mixed zone interview. The comment that probably stuck out most for me, and again, use the comment section, those on YouTube, those listening, feel free to use social media. It was this one from Arne Slot when he said, "It's hard for me to know exactly what Mo means," by his comments basically. He said, "Usually I am calm and polite, but that doesn't mean I am weak. It was up to us to react and we have done that." So Arne Slot basically, and I think Alisson kind of touched on this later, says, if Mo's got the right to feel how he wants to feel. Obviously Arne Slot said he wasn't best pleased that he went to the media and did it as well, but if you speak, there are consequences to the actions, and the consequences for Mohamed Salah is that he's not in Italy right now with his teammates. He won't be involved in that game. Now, the ironic thing perhaps is that he may actually have started this game had that not happened at the weekend. I know he's been on the bench, he was frustrated, and he's made that perfectly clear. But Cody Gakpo is now injured, Federico Chiesa is unwell, he's ill. So there might have been a chance for Mo to potentially get back in the 11. That isn't going to happen now. But I thought that line was really a clear one, that, this isn't like Liverpool trying to ease any tension or saying to Mo, have a little break, have a little think about it. It feels, and I know they said in their briefings they haven't fined Mohamed Salah and they haven't, taken drastic action against him, but it feels like this action is that he's not there. It is a de facto punishment, isn't it? And I thought that was very, very interesting for the manager to come out and say it. I thought it was also interesting when he said, he was asked what Mo's reaction was to the conversation about them not going, them not taking Mo to Italy, to Milan, and he said it was a short reaction, which was, again, quite telling. There's clearly, again, I don't think anybody is very happy with this situation whatsoever. And then obviously the manager or the head coach driver was asked about, Mo's comments about their relationship breaking down, and I'm just reading out, he said, "I haven't felt that way at all. He was very respectful to his teammates and his staff members, so it was a surprise to me when I heard his comments." Listen, Liverpool obviously not best pleased with Mohamed Salah. I think that's obviously Arne Slot made that perfectly clear. He even explained the reasons why he decided not to play Mo in the last few games, and said, it was more about he wasn't happy with the way the team had set up against Nottingham Forest and PSV, and thought he needed to change something, probably to add a little bit more defensive stability after those heavy defeats. And actually, I think it kind of worked against Sunderland, and it definitely worked against West Ham. It kind of worked against Sunderland to an extent. They didn't create loads. It was a bit of a weird one. That one, obviously, the Leeds game was a bit of an aberration because, again, Liverpool were in control of that game until Ebu's decision. So I think the manager almost feels justified in what he did was right in terms of trying to get his team set up. Now, obviously, he won't be best pleased with the results of those last 2 games, but that's kind of the sense it got. He gave an honest answer why he had left Mo Salah out. He said he has, he makes decisions based on the football team and the football club. And again, to go back to it, he made it perfectly clear. And I think it's obvious Liverpool aren't happy with Salah. And that's why he isn't in Italy today. The final one, of course, was when Arne Slot was asked, does he think that Mo will play for Liverpool again, or has he played his last game? And he basically couldn't answer. He said he doesn't know. That, again, not great, because, again, from a Liverpool supporter's point of view, my point of view in particular, and again, I'm not speaking for anyone, so everyone will feel free to disagree, but I would like to hope that this situation can get resolved and Liverpool can figure something out with Mohamed Salah. And yeah, listen, he's had a bit of a moan, and he was frustrated at being left out for 3 games. He's not used to it. That doesn't usually happen. And he's kind of maybe comes around and realises maybe that isn't the way to do it. That's what I was hoping. My sense is that might not be the case, unfortunately, and it feels like that might be that. But yeah, the manager not giving too much away on that one, so maybe you can kind of read between the lines if you want to, I don't know. But yeah, that was perhaps, without giving an answer, maybe a little bit telling, which again isn't ideal. No one's a real winner here, are they, in that situation? But to be fair, I thought, considering how difficult a press conference that was, I thought Arne Slot handled it pretty well. I think, he didn't give too much away, which he's inclined not to do. He was forceful. I think he was kind of respectful to Mo, in a sense that, he said he's entitled to his opinions and things like that. But yeah, I thought he did about as well as he could. I thought Alisson Becker, moving on to him for what it's worth, spoke magnificently. I thought he was fantastic. Again, he was very complimentary of Mohamed Salah, the person, saying, that he said, listen, we don't spend tons of time away with each other off the field, but we're friends. We've known each other a long time. We've had highs and lows together. He said, it's a personal issue that Mo's dealing with, and the players have kind of backed off of that a little bit. He said he hopes Mo Salah can play for Liverpool again. He said, obviously it's a situation between Mo and the club, and it's not easy. Call Mo a great guy, a legend. And yeah, I thought Alisson was really, really good on that one. However, I think, again, when Alisson says this line, I don't think Mo's goal was to disrespect anyone. He has the freedom to talk how he feels about his own situation. But he then went on to say, there are consequences when you speak about things. And again, I go back to it. It kind of feels like that's the message here. Maybe, fair enough, Mo's allowed to say what he's going to say. But Liverpool, and maybe, it's expected really that there will be some repercussions if you go and do that kind of thing. And I think Alisson kind of hinted at that one. I thought he was excellent. And then obviously he was asked about, Mo and the manager's relationship breaking down. He was asked if his relationship's still good, and he clarified that it is. And then he said, he's backing Arne Slot. So this, again, unless you believe Alisson's a liar and he's lying to all our faces, it doesn't look like this thing that there's no mutiny behind the scenes. He says, when asked about backing Arne Slot, he said, of course, yes. Before Arne came in, everyone was talking about the huge challenge, but it looks like everyone is taking for granted what we achieved last season. That should be enough, but we believe in his knowledge, his style of play, and that he is capable of helping us turn around the situation. So Alisson he kind of backed the manager in that regard as well, which again is not really surprising. I doubt he's going to sit in a press conference and say anything else, but the way Alisson speaks, he always comes across really well. He comes across sincere, and it feels like probably that's kind of where they're at. I think, again, I think that everyone involved really, they all acknowledge that this is a bit of a mad one. It's a strange situation for everybody that I'm not involved, and that they've all found themselves in. So yeah, I thought my initial reaction on both was that they both spoke really well. They both answered the questions as best as they could. They didn't back down. It was only at midway through Arne's press conference really where the PR, the press officer steps in and goes like, that's enough questions about Mo, can we actually talk about the Inter Milan game? Which again, I think that's his job, and I think that was right. I think they got enough out of it. So I suppose the big takeaway is, Liverpool, understandably so, aren't happy with the way Mohamed Salah spoke. Arne, again, he seemed a little bit surprised that that's how he feels. It's a difficult one. Again, whether Mo will be involved at the weekend before he goes to AFCON, that is still very much up in the air. Perhaps it relies on how things go when the players arrive back in England and the manager, and they can have more conversations. But yeah, at this stage, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be expecting that. it came across pretty clear. Nobody is particularly enthralled with how Mohamed Salah acted in those in regards to the interview that he gives. So yeah, a very, very interesting Liverpool press conference, and one that is hugely significant in what is another significant week. I think people got enough answers to maybe clear a few things up. Probably there's still a few things left in the air because there's always grey areas, there's always two sides to every story. And then it is, of course, worth mentioning, like Liverpool are playing Milan, and yeah, the fact that the manager, the big news, really, when the manager does a press conference, usually the big news is injuries, and the fact that both Gakpo is out for a couple of weeks and that Chiesa is ill would have been the headline news. It's almost secondary to this one. So Liverpool going over to Milan or in Milan now with a very underhanded in terms of, or understaffed rather, in terms of their attacking options. There's about 3 of them. So you've got Ekatike, Isak, young Rio and Gamoa's there, Florian Wirtz, Szoboszlai, who are more hybrid midfield attackers. So Liverpool are short-changed, and that's the unfortunate thing here, isn't it, as well? That you know, again, I go back to it, there's a very good chance Mo could have played, and if he plays and he scores and Liverpool play well, and before you know it, you know, things go back to normal. But unfortunately, listen, again, I've made my feelings clear. I understand most frustrations. I don't think that was the right time to go about doing what he did in terms of how he spoke about it. And he probably would have been there, and he probably would have been playing, and that's a big shame because Liverpool are going to miss him as much as they're going to miss pretty much all their attacking players. The only last one I want to speak about then before we wrap up, Jamie Carragher obviously speaking on Sky Sports, give his reaction, and Jamie didn't hold back, I think it's fair to say. He said, "I thought it was a disgrace what he did. I think when he stops in the mix zone, it's choreographed with him and his agent, designed to cause maximum damage and strengthen on his position." He then went on to say that he feels like he was trying to get the manager sacked, basically, which again, I mean, I don't know. If truth be told, if that's what the aim of Arne Slot was, but he made it clear Jamie Carragher wasn't a fan of it at all. He goes on to say, "One thing I want to remind Mohamed Salah, maybe his agent, that before he came to Liverpool, Mo Salah was known as the guy who failed at Chelsea. That's a fact. He's also the greatest player the country has ever had. Egypt in the AFCON are the most successful nation, but he hasn't won the AFCON. That's not me trying to put him down as a player. What it tells Mo Salah and his agent is that it's not about an individual. You were not a star when you came to Liverpool, no matter how good of a player you are. You need help. You need help from the teammates and the manager and the fans. And it's important that he remembers that when he's talking there, it's all about me, me, me." So Jamie didn't hold any punches. He got on to, you know, he threw the club under the bus. So Jamie did not hold back. I think maybe that I disagree with the interview. I wouldn't have gone maybe as harsh as Jamie has, and again, he's entitled to his opinion too. But he's saying, you know, he chose this weekend to do this. He's waited and chose this time to go for the manager and get him sacked. That's how I felt. I'm not sure he was trying to get the manager sacked. I know some people have got that idea. I don't know. But yeah, it's been an explosive few days for Liverpool. What they need to beat Inter Milan. They need to beat Brighton next week. Get people talking back about the footy. Hopefully sort this situation out. Maybe I am just looking at this through rose-tinted glasses because, yeah, when you've got ex-players slamming current players, the current players slamming the manager, people getting thrown under the bus, people asking press conference, these are not the type of conversations you want your football club and your football team to be having and be involved in. This shouldn't be what we're up to, and this is where we are, and that in itself is very, very sad. So yeah, there you go. That's my reaction on what both Arne Slot and Alisson, and in fact Jamie Carragher, had to say. It's been a whirlwind of a few days, and I'm sure that the fallout of this isn't just ended yet. So that's it from me. Let us know in the comment section your thoughts. I'd love to hear them on everything that was said today. Like I say, if you're listening to this, feel free to use the social channels. We'll love to hear your opinions and get yourselves where your stance is on this. Do you back Mo in terms of what he did? Do you back what he said? Do you think he should have done it? Are you going as hard as Jamie Carragher did? Are we in the Alisson camp? And in terms of trying to be as respectful as we can, please do let us know, because that's what we're here for. Other than that, really, from my kitchen, hopefully the next time I speak to you from here, something good's happened. Maybe they've signed a centre half in the January window or something, because I don't want to be doing too many of these, do we? It's never a great thing. But yeah, for now, thanks very much for watching or listening, and I'll catch you all soon, guys.